Good evening and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the indigenous one. We have supremacy all over, or people who think they're supreme to everybody else. People who think they can stand on other people's necks and shoulders and make something of themselves at the expense of other people. That ain't how it works. Tonight, we have the Accawmacke Guardian is going to bring up some information that's going to keep us on our toes. And ladies and gentlemen, we come with you every Friday. We're not coming at you. We're coming at you trying to give you some information that you can use, your children can use, and people who are around you that you love could use. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand this over to my Accawmacke Guardian, Lisa Cypress. How you doing this evening, Lisa?
Hey, I'm really good. Thank you. Halito, Aseyo, everyone. Hello to the chat. I want to thank you for having me again here, Carrie. And I want to thank the chat for all the love. Let me tell you, chat, some of the other channels, they have a lot of liveliness in their chat. They do a lot of fire. They do a lot of likes. Make sure that you hitting that like button, and make sure that you putting that fire up for Carrie, because you enjoy Carrie. You make sure you are sharing this across your other pages and groups and everything, because people don't really understand how important Carrie is, and African Americans Ain't African, and some of the foundational. Let's talk about foundational Indians. Some of the foundational Indians, not
No, they're
foundational
the
Negroes.
no, what's
Okay,
that? The
let's talk about some of the
foundational.
foundational Indians and how they have set the pathways for the information out here with the indigenous community. And so I need you all to show that love and put some fire up and get some likes up, and because a lot of channels, that's all they do is they put those likes up, they put that fire up, and it's really like the quality of the information is not even on the same level. But when you get the people to express it, it appears as if you got a lot going on. So I want to encourage you all to show how much is actually going on right here with Carrie's channel, and put that fire up, put all that fire bomb his channel, put all those likes up, share it up. Don't just watch it yourself. Share it not just with your other indigenous people, but with your family and friends and coworkers. Let's get these shares and likes up.
Thank you, love.
Show and prove. All right. So today we're talking about, it's not probably going to be just today because it's a very big topic and it's very broad. We're going to talk about white supremacy, black supremacy, the United States of white and black supremacy, because that's what it is. The United States, the whole game that's being played is all about white and black supremacy. That's everything. If we could have a full and complete understanding of that, then you can beat this game. Okay. So I was just talking to Carrie, and I was like, you know what? I don't know where to start. It's like my mind goes to the past, my mind goes to the present. I don't know where to go forward or backwards. And I said, yeah, do you know Booker T. Washington? He formed this Atlanta Compromise Agreement. And he was like, what? And I was, so now I'm going to touch sharing with you. So this Atlanta Compromise Agreement, which was struck in 1895 between Booker T. Washington, President Tuskegee, and some Southern white leaders who, are always these mysterious people who are white supremacists. And the agreement basically was that W.E.D. Du Bois and he would agree that Southern white blacks would work and submit to white political rule. Okay? So All these Negroes that are Pan-Africans and Adolphs and worship W.E.D. Du Bois and worship Booker T and all these universities, which sang praises all these sororities and fraternities, which pledge allegiance to W.E.D. Du Bois and also Booker T, are all under submission to white political rule. Do you understand this? Do you understand this? That when we are going to these schools, when we are sending our children to these schools, when we are getting involved with these fraternities and sororities and these organizations, that we are actually becoming a faculty, a part of the Black supremacy, white supremacy, organization. Okay, the daggone movement. We're participating in it on some level because a bargain and agreement was made that we would submit. You see, that's what Black supremacy is. It's people that strike a bargain to have some kind of power and authority and importance, and they make an agreement to be the overseers and the henchmen for us. Okay.
So could you give us an example of one today? I mean, I know Booker T. Washington and all those cats was back in the early part of last century. Could you give us an example
Yeah,
today of what would be
of course
one?
I can. So, basically, you got all kinds of political overseers. Let's look at let's look at, first of all, there's social political overseers like Obama. Okay, let's look at Obama. Let's look at Omar. Okay, what's his name? Omar. What's his name? What's that guy? The Adolf, the Pan African guy. Umar. What's his last name?
Oh, Omar Johnson.
Johnson. Oh, he got the Johnson name. Yeah, he's a real Indian. So anyway, Umar Johnson and Obama and Oprah Winfrey and and just name anybody. Bill Cosby. All these people are placed on a pedestal, and they have an agenda to speak. Stacey, what's her name? Stacey Abrams. She had to do her job. She had to do her bidding for white supremacy. They did not return the favor to her, and they don't feel like they need to return anything to her. You see what I'm saying? Where's Stacey at? What's her job in the White House? She got an office in the cabinet. What she got?
Nothing.
I don't know. I don't know if anything that she got. But let me tell you something. But that's the way it is. You see, you bow down. You submit to white political rule. That's part of the plan. And their job is to oversee you, control you, manipulate you, throw propaganda at you, and put your mind into submission too. So
So
we
is
have
that
all these people. Let's go ahead. Go ahead.
so is that the reason we keep? I mean, you see it all the time, year after year. We always fall for the okey doke. Not everybody, but those people are used to lead the people into some stupid shit.
Right. Our celebrities, our athletes, even. Okay. Our athletes, especially. You know, they are. Everybody is working together and this is about power, right? This is about supreme power. Okay. So that's what it is. It's all about them having that supreme position of power. That is what the white supremacy is about. And the black supremacy, they get a position of power as well underneath the white supremacists, but above all of us regular folk and not so regular folk. There's a lot of people who struggle and make impacts and make changes and make money and do things, but they still not black supremacy. They still not up in the upper echelon. They may have money. They may live in a nice neighborhood. They may have a good job or good business, but that doesn't necessarily make them black supremacy. Just like having money does not necessarily make you white supremacist. You have to come from the right people. These contracts were made and laid a long time ago. You can't just nose your way in there. And even if you make sacrifices like Stacy did, that don't let her in the club, in the inner circle. You see, a lot of it's genealogy, a lot of it's bloodline. You can't make it up. You can't buy your way in. It takes a lot to buy your way in. Stacy ain't got that, but certain people may. They can buy their way in, right? And they can sacrifice their way and show their loyalty all the way down the line. See, because it's not just giving up the black vote. It's being a part of their whole sadistic activities and rituals and stuff. You have to show that you are down for whatever your loyalty. See, that's why when you see these things in these fraternities and sororities, you see how they act and how they want you to bend over and go find something and yes sir and no sir and get all this stuff and embarrass yourself and subject yourself to pain and injury. See, and almost death. That's what they want. That is a little microcosm, a small example of what is being done on a higher level with real global white supremacy. And it's global. It's not just U.S. Well, I said U.S., but it's really global. And that's why we see that the whole world is in cahoots on what's been going on lately in the planet. And these disgusting friggin' lizard reptilian people are friggin', they're doing all kinds of things all the time. And they do it right in our faces and we don't even pay attention. Let me tell you something. I was just watching a movie about Woody Allen, right? Woody Allen, they got this documentary about his wife talking about Woody Allen. A lot of people like Woody Allen, especially northern people. He has really good movies about, just simple whatever stuff in New York and good scenery of New York. And he's a good cinematographer, what have you. But let me tell you, so this documentary, I've watched it accidentally on purpose because I'm in this hotel and really, what, I don't play the news. So I put the thing on for background noise and I've watched it inadvertently. And let me tell you, there's some sadistic, that's a sadistic ass movie. That is sick as hell. Because what it talks about is how Woody didn't really want nothing to do with no children whatsoever until his what's her name? Who's Maya? What's her name? Not Maya. Her name is
Mia Farrow.
Mia had a little girl. He wanted a little girl. In fact, when she first got pregnant, she had a boy. He was disappointed. He didn't want nothing to do with the little boy. Okay, a little white boy. She had all these adopted multiracial like Asian kids, no blacks, but Asian and mostly Asian or whatever. And he didn't want nothing to do with them. But then she had the little boy. He didn't want nothing to do with that little white boy. But then she had the little blonde haired white girl. Oh my God, he was obsessed with this child. Okay, now let's check it. So Mia paints this story as Woody, the pedophile, the Woody, the daggone predator, right? This is how the story is painted. Like, it doesn't go like for the jugular on Woody, but it definitely paints him as a pedophile. Okay. But check it though. Mia is always taping them kids and taping conversations with Woody. Mia is the worst pedophile. Mia is that type of woman that puts her children out there to be prey. She's that kind of woman. And ain't nobody saying nothing about the stuff. Because check it, when Woody, okay, Woody, before he even started, he actually, they say he molested his youngest daughter, his little blonde haired, strawberry blonde haired daughter. Daggone Maid saw him with his face between her legs with no panties on. Okay. So nothing happens with that. She don't do nothing from that. And then that little Song Yi chick that he ended up marrying, right? He was taking her to basketball games. Okay, he didn't pay no attention to his child when the child was growing up. Not none. No attention. Soon as she became a young lady, all of a sudden he's spending all this time with her. coming by the house. They going to places, going to dinner, going to plays, going to daggone whatever. So you the mama, you don't say nothing. You don't got nothing to say about this man spending time all of a sudden with this child he don't care nothing about. All of a sudden he got all this interest in her. What kind of woman does that? She is a predator herself. She has facilitated his appetite. That's what they do. That is an example right in your face on HBO and a daggone mile form. She freaking set that girl up, saying, and then she act like, oh, do you love me or do you love some? How does it become that? That's your child. It ain't no competition of pussy.
But do you think that's how it's done? Do
They
you think
doing
that's
that all the time. That's the rich, clean version. But yeah, they doing that all the time.
and so
And
her
they
role?
showing you how they doing it. It's like almost like a play-by-play book. Oh Sung Yi, he was spending more time with her, and I wasn't, but you ain't concerned. You don't care about the girl to be like, look, pull up. You too grown to be hanging out with. Why are you gonna hang out with your daddy all this time now? What's going on with that? And why don't you bring the other kids with her? Why is it just you two? Why are you going out on dates now after all this time? And then the response is all off cue. It's like a daggone a bitch that's worried about her position with another against another bitch. It ain't a mother position at all. But then she's trying to act like she's a mother protecting the child. Them children were feeders. They were feeder children. They weren't for daggone having a family. They were to feed the disgusting appetite of these predatory people. That's what they were.
Period.
Period. And a lot of people got it set up like that. They got these feeder children in their houses that they are just preying on. And they try to make you think that everything's all, oh, we are rainbow this, or we love this, or we care about this. Oh no. There's a reason that we as indigenous people have a concern about other races adopting our children, because the reasoning and their whereabouts and their behaviors are not the same, and their motivation. There's just something on the news today about this chick in daggone Florida who's a children's author, writes children's books, and she's a teacher, school teacher for elementary kids, and her husband some kind of .com something. And they had the kids locked up in the basement, torturing them, not feeding them, doing God knows what kind of molestation to these kids for years that they adopted. So I mean, this is going on. It's going down. And then you got pictures. You talking about somebody's buying the mansion that they're going. What's his name? What's the guy who was the guy who's got that island, and what's the, I forget.
Epstein. It looks like Lisa just clicked herself off, which I guess you guys can see where she's coming from and what's being done. But it's what's being done to indigenous children. One of the things that's being talked about now, that's in the news now, is this Queen of England and this Marilyn Markle, whatever the chick name is, she married from over here. And my question to all that is, her mama didn't let her know what she was getting into. This is what I'm saying. This chick went ahead and married a prince. And I know what she was thinking, like most swirlers think, oh, I'm about to have it better now. This chick said she was pregnant, thinking about suicide. Think about that for a minute. Pregnant and wanting to have a she's pregnant and she wanted to kill
I'm trying to
herself.
get my
Lisa,
headband
that's
stuff
what I was
up.
gonna
It's very
ask you
heavy.
about with this Marilyn Markle thing, this thing going over in England that has everybody up in the storm. This chick was thinking about killing herself when she was pregnant. What does that say?
I mean, they trying to make money, right? I don't know about that. You know what I mean? I mean, they're on that. They're getting that money, right? I mean, I don't know about Marilyn Monroe. She's an actress, right?
Right.
I mean, she's an actress. Do I believe her crying? Do I believe her whatever? They had somebody do like a facial analysis to try to see what she was really feeling or whatever. I'm like, but she's an actress, right? So how does that gonna work? How real is it gonna be? So I mean, I feel like I feel like you when you get involved with the Queen of England and all that, you're gonna find all the shit that they actually are involved in and who they really are. And that's gonna be some scary stuff. I believe that. I believe that. I believe she might have been suicidal. It might be that scary. It should be that scary. It most likely is. I mean, I'm not gonna slight that because let me tell you, that's some those are some scary creatures. And I ain't gonna call them people. They scary creatures. Okay. And they have a lot to reckon with, and people are highly defensive of them. They don't want you saying nothing about them. And the fact that there is a queen in this day and age is fucking stupid as hell. How the hell does she have control over 19 or whatever countries? How does she have that? How is that a possibility in 2021? That stuff should be banned right now. All that stuff needs to be returned. What the heck how is that okay? So I mean, we're not looking at the real questions. We're looking at the petty stuff. She said something about the color of the baby's skin. Who gives a damn? I don't care. I don't care. We got bigger problems here. Like, what is really going on? Why does she have control over so much? Why is it okay? And the means of by which she took these countries over and all their resources, why doesn't everybody care about that? Why do we care about this Marco? What's her name? What is the chick's name? I don't even know.
Marilyn, Marilyn
Huh?
Monroe,
No, no. The daggone princess. What's her name?
Marilyn Monroe.
Stop it. Not Marilyn Monroe. Anyway, whatever her name, Mabel, whatever, Marlowe, I don't know. But anyway, why do we care about her and her feelings? And we don't care about the fact that we got a whole queen of England, which shouldn't even be a queen, who's still alive. Why? Because of all the child sacrifices and daggone people they freaking consumed and killed and all the evil shit they did to keep her and her husband still going strong after all this time. We don't care about that. We don't care about what all the daggone resources and people they have destroyed to have daggone lording over these daggone countries and being a queen over all these other people and just have all these people in subjection to her. Like, what? How is that okay? We still think that's okay. And the thing we're going to get excited about in 2021 is see, that's how freaking basic we are. That's how basic we are. That's how distracted we are from what is important. That's what we've been doing for the past 50 years is being basic and distracted by what is it? It's celebrity. We're more interested in the couple as a celebrity than we interested in the politics behind what she should have been really upset about.
And that is,
That is the fact that the Queen of England, the Queen of England is said to have stolen children and daggone Canada. They still haven't figured out that whole story about whether the Queen of England did or did not steal the kids and what happened to them daggone and what happened to these daggone kids that went missing under her watch. What happened? What actually happened?
what
Okay.
what do you think that is? Where the people, the majority of people, they don't even question that it's
We
not. It's like it
like
never
I
happened.
said, we just lullaby to sleep. Look at this. Fact check. Was the Queen of England found guilty in the disappearance of 10 Canadian children? This is a 2020 article, okay? But we don't even care about this damn. Look at this. Look at this daggone. Look at this lizard lady. I mean, we don't even care that this reptilian person. it has consumed 10 Canadian children. We don't even care about that because we're more concerned about Miss Marcos, whatever her name is, and whether she's crying because they said something about the color of the baby, the complexion of the skin. Should I really be concerned about that? Should anybody really be concerned about that? I mean, didn't this disappearance? I guess it happened in 1964, right? They were found
Right.
guilty, 10 children in the Catholic-run Clemops residential school in British Columbia. Grieving parents haven't seen their children since they left for a picnic with the royal couple on October 10, 1964. That was after I was born. So what the heck? Ain't nobody talking about these daggone missing children. Nobody cares about them because guess what? That's just what we do. We get distracted by stupid stuff, and then we don't think about what's important. We don't think about what she may or may not be guilty of. We ain't doing that. We don't care. So this is the thing with white supremacy and our Atlanta compromise. Okay, all right. We need to figure out what is important and what to focus on and stop getting distracted by craziness. Do you care about whether the queen is talking about the complexion of her skin, or why aren't we digging in on the queen and the pope and all these world leaders and the real shit that they have done? Why are we not digging in on that? Why are we ignoring the things that actually can change and impact our lives? Like, hey, return your shit, get your shit back. Why are we ignoring that? Why are we not using these opportunities to trigger bigger issues? Why
Do
are
you
we
think
just
it's better?
riding on the same conversation? Ooh, oh, she cried, or she was looking sad, or she was suicidal. Really? Who cares? Do you know how much money they made from that? Why do you care? That doesn't matter. What we need to look at is like, okay, Heifer, what did you find out about the royalty? What other things might you know that will benefit us in knowing so we can move forward and get some things returned to us? Forget your damn complexion of your child's skin. Who cares?
Right.
I mean, we have to understand the things that this whole thing of white supremacy and black supremacy, it's been going on since the Moors brought daggone Columbus to the shores. Because check it, when before the daggone, they brought these damn Italians and the damn Spanish and the daggone English and all these other people and the French, the Vikings were actually kind of cool. They came and they left. They knew how to trade and fucking leave. We taught them how to make houses and they freaking left. We taught them about potatoes and shit. They left. They didn't try to stick around and freaking try to take over. Okay. Even to this day, Scandinavian people ain't trying to be all up in America. They pretty much stay where they're at. Okay. These other motherfuckers, I don't know what they are, but they are all in cahoots. All those damn African people, because these are all Africans, right? These Europeans, these Africans, they're all Africans. They all got that same predatory vibe. They predators. They don't come just to come and go. They come and they want to take everything you got. They want to take you. They want your soul. They want everything. They want everything about you. And you got these people under the guise of being you who are your overseers, your henchmen, and you worship them because they get on the TV and they smile at you, or they dance, or they produce good music, or they do a nice movie, or they have a nice talk show, and you just think they're great, And so we sit there and we fall for it. Let's go back to this. Let's do this. Let's check this out. All right, let's check out the whole deception, right? So we didn't even know who we were. We didn't know who we were, right? We didn't know who we were.
My name is Ossie Davis. I'm an actor and a writer, and the narrator of our series of programs on the history of the Negro people. I'm also a Negro. What is a Negro? In Africa, the word Negro has no meaning. In Brazil, a Negro is a man who's very poor and very black. And in the United States, a man who has any quantity of Negro blood, or whatever that is considered a Negro. Are Negroes a race, a people, or a condition? Our programs will be asking this question in many ways and in many different settings. Our odyssey will take us throughout the world to Africa, where we will explore the relationship of American Negroes to the land of their origin. To Brazil, where we will ask, is Brazil a racial paradise? And throughout the United States. Our aim in this series is both a modest and an ambitious one. We will be asking many questions and perhaps answer only a few. For there is a vast ignorance of Negro history among whites and Negroes, and the job of filling this vacuum is massive. Do Negroes have a heritage and a tradition like the Greeks, the French, the Anglo-Saxons? Or are we something less, as others have portrayed us? Everywhere we have looked, we have seen Negroes as savage and barbaric, humble and self-sacrificing, scared and childish and inferior. And I remember as a kid coming from some of the pictures, and we spent the whole time from the motion picture house to home satirizing the Negro performances we saw in the film. Well, it was also an admission that somehow or other this was, to some degree, what we were. Now, these important and very, very impressionistic things that we got from these films did, to some degree, govern our behavior. When a Negro child goes into a movie, for instance, and sees himself or sees another Negro in an unfavorable light, he feels, to some degree, threatened. He feels uncomfortable, and a great deal of his laughing at that situation will be the kind of laughter that protects him. It's a nervous attack against him, himself, the way he looks at himself, the esteem with which he holds himself, and how he will rate with his fellows in the streets. You know, it's seeing something happen to you that you can't control, which leaves a scar, which leaves you feeling inadequate. You know, you don't feel loved. You're ashamed to look at yourself, ashamed to go home, ashamed to talk to the boys next door, ashamed even to ask these questions of your parents, although sometimes you do. It's a horrible situation, and sometimes we never get over that.
As a Negro, I have honestly tried to believe that I was somebody, and I've always fought during my life to keep that feeling that I did have some value. And I say value knowing what that word means.
Okay, so being see, we didn't even know who we were. Okay, we still don't know. We're not really clear, have most of us. So a lot of these people have latched on, and they've been pushing the agenda. They've been pushing the African agenda so early. You know, I don't know if everybody knows how early, like the 1700s. So if they were trying to send people back, do you understand that they were trying to send people back to Africa as early as 1700s? Like, how you going to send somebody back to Africa when you ain't never brought them here? So if they were trying in the 1700s, it doesn't even make sense that there was any kind of slave trade in, because who would send somebody back when they just got there? As a matter of fact, in Virginia, the governor said that there were no no Negro ships on the shores of the country, and that was in 1708. So if the 1780 or 1770 something, they were talking about let's send some people to Africa or send them to Canada or get rid of them, because see, after the Civil War, they wanted to get rid of the Negroes that sided with Britain. So they sent a bunch of them to Canada, and they wanted to send some of us to Africa. Okay. So the effort to move us off, and they actually did move people off, has been long in the works. And if you understand how long in the works is, it changes everything, because you understand that this is all a cycle. It keeps repeating itself over and over again. We thought we were going to make certain gains on both sides of this war. The people that didn't make the right, didn't win, ended up, a lot of them marginalized and even pushed off their country. And a lot of people don't even know about that. I didn't know about that. I didn't know folks was, moved out of their damn country after war, after the Revolutionary War. Heck, I just realized I have revolutionary people in my family, let alone knowing that after the war, because see, that's how many of us actually fought in the war. That so many fought in the war that they could actually deport us because we were on the wrong side. But don't nobody tell you this? It's crazy, right? Enough people that they had actually large numbers that went to Canada, and also large numbers that were sent back to Africa. Are you freaking kidding me? So this is an ongoing battle. So the people that was, okay, this is 1965, right? So in this 1965 video, as of that time, people that were born, let's say in 1948. Let's say 1948, right? 17-year-olds at the time of this video, right? These people are now 70 some years old, right? Okay. So these 70-year-old people, okay, 73-year-old people, of which we a lot of us know these such folks. um These people were 17 when this came out. So they came out being very confused, less confused than Ozzie Davis about who we are and how we stand in the world and what our history is. Okay. Ozzie Davis was like, it's going to take a whole lot to dig this up and understand this. I mean, that's how bad it was. So, what we have to kind of understand is how recent the confusion is. So these people that are Pan Africans and actually act like they've always known and known it for a fact, it's such bullshit, because it's never been a known fact, but it's always been a white supremacist movement. You see, it's been a white supremacist movement since the 1700s. Oh, the 1600s, if you want to look at it, because in the 1600s they were reclassifying us, and that's all about the white supremacy and and pushing us back, pushing us off our land as well. So the reclassification is a white supremacist move that started since they arrived on our shores. Okay, literally. But for us, we act like, oh, we always know. No, your grandma never told you were from Africa. They never said nothing about no Africa to you. You don't have any African foods, no African music, no African clothes. What are you doing? Why are we making these as wild assumptions? And now, because people are saying, oh yeah, we're indigenous, now the Pan-Africans are saying, oh, but we are ancient Africans, because all civilization starts in Africa, right? All civilization starts in Africa. Right. So that also is a very new premise. Like, that ain't nothing. No, that ain't a new thing. That's an old thing. Okay. That's a new thing. That ain't an old thing. That's a very new thing. That's a new thing to get the Negro to think he's not from here. Okay. So that also is a trick. And so my cousin was talking to me the other day and saying, oh, yeah, Eden is a denial. It's in denial. That's where Eden is, you know. And I'm like, really? And how do you know this? Who told you this? Where'd you get this information that you know it? Like God came down and told you or something, or you got some kind of grand. What kind of research? You've been digging in the Nile, or you found some bone? Okay, so back in 1992, Newsweek came out with this article, right? So this is the truth be told. God, can't get this shit right. The truth be told, this article is what actually made people like take notice to the fact, or think that, Africa is eating and all this. Okay, so this is Newsweek. This ain't even Time. It ain't Wall Street Journal. It is really just like a friggin' news rag magazine. It really has no big reputation with doing any real in-depth research. So let's get that context straight first of all. Okay, so Newsweek magazine in 1992, they show a photograph of a paint depiction. I should say a depiction, it's not a photograph. A drawing, artwork of Adam and Eve, and they got Jerry curls.
Do the Jerry curl.
They got Jerry curls, okay? But you know what? I don't know if any Nigerians is wearing Jerry curls in 1992. So I know that is not supposed to be an African, okay? So who are they pandering to? They're pandering to us, right? They're pandering to our egos. They're pandering to our sense of wanting to know where we're from, sense of having a sense of pride. You see how he described the feeling of not knowing who you are, or knowing if you're some kind of slacker, some kind of savage, some kind of ignoramus. What it does to your self-esteem. It does. That's intentional. That's white supremacy. But then you have black supremacists like himself, because he knew. I mean, I'm sure in his research and in doing this, he acquired Ruby. What's his name? Sam. What's his name? Davis. What's his name? First name?
Ossie Davis.
Ozzie Davis knew. He found out certain facts about who we are, and just from his own family, I'm sure they told him he was Indian. But at the same time, he was part of that black supremacy who kept things quiet. We're on this road to Africa. We're gonna keep it on this road. We're getting acceptance on this road. We're making money on this road. You know what I'm saying? We getting important and prominent on this road. Okay? The Atlanta Agreement. Okay? Submit to the white political system. So Newsweek magazine comes out with this article, and they talk about they found some bones, and but then they skip past. Even in this article, they talk about how things have been found in Central America, South America, but they kind of just kind of jump over that. They jump over that and try to go back to the fact that it's Africa, South America to the Americas. They found things, they have, but they don't want to concentrate on that, because they want us to be all in love with being off of the Americas. That's what they want us to focus on. You need to be off of the Americas. You don't need to be here. You need to put yourselves somewhere else where there's grapes, or what are those apples on the tree? Where there's apples on the tree. Where there's apples on the tree. Where it looks like friggin' somewhere in Georgia. Okay? Come on now. Come on now. So that's what we got. We got a whole system of black supremacists who want to supply the answers to keep us quiet, and to keep us at bay from the white supremacists, to keep us from asking questions, to keep us in submission. And they are very dangerous. Our music keeps us in submission. Our music, the television, our movies, everything is in place to keep us in, our churches especially keep us in submission. They especially keep us in submission. The wording of the Bible, everything is to keep us in submission. We are supposed to be waiting till we die to seek any kind of happiness. Okay, so the actual article of the Newsweek was 1988. Oh, right. What happened in 1988? Didn't we have a conversation about 1988? Oh, 1988 is powerful year of submission and subterfuge.
Yeah, but this is what I want to share with the audience, and Because a lot of times we get stuff and we really don't think about what's being told to us. We just go, and like you said, we just listen to anything.
Right.
And I always ask people, well, who is this woman right here with the blue feathers on her head?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, to me, this looks like any sister, anywhere you walk into America, any place where African Americans live, this sister looks like that. It doesn't look like an African woman. It
Right.
doesn't look like a woman from nowhere else. She looks like a sister from here.
Right.
And this is a early 1700 drawing, and you see all of the men from all Europe, England, Portugal, France, but they got this sister right here, and they say this is Britannia's daughter. And my question is this: all these shines that go to college, all these people that's supposed to know and intelligent and scholars and the greatest, they never came across this.
Mm-hmm.
And today, even if we come across it, we'll just dismiss it like it's nothing. Why do you think we do that so much?
Why do we dismiss it as if it's nothing? Because we don't like thinking. We don't like change, and we definitely don't like to change our thinking. The fact that you could tell somebody, look, why do you believe that everything started in Africa? Who told you that? And why do you believe it to be true? You know? And they get mad. They get angry because they don't want to have to change their thinking. They
You know,
find it satisfying to stay in the same comfort zone. They
the
don't
title,
actually want to even believe that people are as evil as they are. See, you know what? The Bible gets you to not look at the evil as a actual person. It makes you think of some kind of mystical, magical, evil energy,
right?
the almighty evil. And then they have this almighty savior, a promise of a savior, a promise and sympathy of a savior. And then that's what people gravitate to. That resonates as real to them because of the dogma that they've been taught, right? So when they see politicians use that same dogma, like, oh, there's an almighty evil. Here it is. You see him? That's Trump. You see it? It's these patriot people. It's the Ku Klux Klan. That's your evil. They designate an evil. That's the game they play. The cops. It's these evil cops that are your designate. They designate the almighty evil. And then they designate your savior. Biden's gonna save you. Him and Kamala. Oh, who's gonna save you? Who's gonna Clinton? Oh, Bill Clinton's gonna save you. He's gonna save you with a saxophone. He's gonna save you. And he did the most damage than anybody politically. Anybody. Him and daggone Hillary lynched the hell out of us. Lynched us. Got us messed up to this day with the damn going pipeline to prison and they're going profit prison for profit. Oh, they did a number on us.
I mean, but
Sentencing us to death, literally.
yeah, but don't we have to take some? We have to take some accountability for that, because they can tell us any damn thing, and we fall for it all the time.
We always fall for it, but that's because we don't pay attention to what the game is. If you don't understand what they're doing, that they're always going to have an almighty evil. They're always going to have an almighty savior. They're always going to have a black choir of overseers that are going to be humming the tune. Yes, this is good. Do it. You're going to have a whole choir of athletes, politicians, talk show hosts, game show hosts, radio hosts. Oh, the radio hosts, they hit you while you ride and they get your eardrums, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Vote, 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 vote. Biden, Biden, Biden. Yeah, they hit your eardrums. They get a lot of movement out of people. The music, we have all these other platform of overseers and henchmen who are there to actually make sure that if the white almighty evil and the white almighty savior are not working, you got the second tier to come and get you. I'm not saying that we should not be responsible for that, but we have to understand the game. So so we actually recognize that we're being played. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. I'm trying to tell people so you can teach your people and share with your people that there's a freaking game to be played and to peep the game, understand it. So when you see it, you recognize it. Uncovering the dark veil is how you win. Because as long as they can repeat this game over and over and over and over, we'll never win. But once you understand that they use these games, these triggers. Oh, the bad white man is beating up Asians. They hating on Asians. Maybe the black people should support the Asians. What the fuck? There are no white men that are out there to kill Asians. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Somebody triggered or paid this boy to do that shit. Ain't nobody out there having daggone sitting in their room thinking about Asian people and trying to kill them. And the fact that you got stupid daggone fake Asians on TV acting like they're all up in arms about all the terrorism that's happening against them is crazy because they are predators, just like the rest of them. They come here to freaking suck the blood and life out of the Negro Indian community. It's ridiculous. So that's what's happening in politics. You got all this simply for the daggone Asians, and they had that plan before he even won the election. Because before he won the election, he said something about having daggone increase something support of Asian rights or some shit. He told you what he was going to do. There was not even why was there a need for Asian rights before there was even any Asian anything? And there's not anything now, but they're creating the illusion so that they can take your rights away from you and give it to them. So they can take the power out of any kind of assistance that you can get and give it to other people once again.
So that
And
so
you're
that
standing there and watching it. You know what we should be doing? We should be writing. We should be calling. We should say, hell no. We don't agree with the fact that Asians are being daggone racially abused or daggone, attacked. There is no terrorism against damn Asians. If anything, they are the terrorists. We do not agree. Wholeheartedly and together, we should be standing and saying it. That's not true. Whatever they experience is minor and it's reactionary because what they get is a reaction to the fact that they heap insults against us on a daily basis. They treat us with disgrace and disrespect when we come in their daggone facilities to spend our money like idiots.
well,
They don't hire us. They don't go to our schools. They don't put money in our communities. They just take. And we sit up there and we shut our mouths and we watch the shit happen. And we don't even bother. This brother sent me an email talking about he was in some kind of Zoom with the meeting, and the Asians were talking about some kind of Asian whatever, and he put a thumbs down like this, like that. They screenshot that shit. They put it all over the place, act like he was some kind of racist villain. I had usually this guy, he talks to me about stuff I'm not really interested in, but I had to remark to him that this is foul. I had to support him on this. I had to say, you know what, you need to start an online survey, online something. You need to do something where you are protesting this, okay? Because this is ridiculous. They are trying to vilify you when we are the victims of them. How can I mean, we should have had some kind of response to how Asians come into the country and treat us in our neighborhoods. We should have had a response a long time ago. Should have been some response. But now now we never said anything about it. We silently suffer. Here we go with that silence again. Silent again, right? There you go. There you go. That's a good example. Silent again. We suffer in silence, and yet now they're being made it to be out to be the victim because we so stupid. We keep it silent about all the shit we got to deal with on a daily basis from them, and we still do not lash out at them, even though they do stuff to us on a daily basis. And yet you're not gonna say nothing about this shit that's happening. This whole movement to make them into the victim. Y'all need to wake up. These are the things that change lives. You see. These are the things that scrape away at your standing in this country. Y'all want to sit there and do documents and change your identity. It don't matter as long as they are scratching away at everything, how you live, because that's what this is doing. When they are giving these people this kind of credibility and scratching away at yours, it changes how you live. It changes how you live and who you are.
Let me make this comment, release real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from this brother, Abindanab. Yeah, I don't know the name. They are racist as hell. They're racist as hell, but take our money, sir. That is totally false.
You give
You
them.
give them your money every
Mm-hmm.
time you go and support them.
Right.
And and the little girl you see on the screen is Latasha Harlins. I don't have to go into that because most of you Negroes know.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since this sister was killed, we said we will not support these people no more. But
Right.
guess what? But guess what? You African Americans have been doing. You will go into their store, get slapped in the mouth,
Right.
and keep going back to them.
Right.
And then
Literally.
when somebody like me call you an asshole for doing it, you mad.
Right.
Explain that.
Right.
Explain that, Lisa, please.
Yeah, that is part of the problem. And you can sit there and say, "Oh, I'm woke to the situation. I know about white supremacy, but see, you see these issues that pop up are opportunities to stop it and stop this stuff in its
Mm.
tracks. Okay, you don't see the opportunity. Because when you ignore this opportunity, you ignore this crossroad. That means you are conceding to the fact that, oh yeah, they more important than we are. Them Asians are more important. Oh, their feelings being hurt is more important than us. Their feelings are not important because their feelings, their feelings are response feelings. They're getting the response to their treacherous behavior. It's not that they are really victims, is that they're freaking aggressors and certain things are snapping back at them. But it's not that they're freaking victims. They're these docile Asians that you see in old movies. They're not that. They're evil, they're predatory, and we go into their businesses willingly. Why? We pay them money. We buy hair from them in large numbers. We spend hundreds of thousands. An individual woman, how much do you spend? Does she spend? Oh my God! Let's think about how many thousands of dollars an
Well, Lisa,
individual woman.
Lisa, let me ask you this seriously, because to me, I think you're one of the most intelligent sisters I've spoken to. Let me ask you this: what do you think Asians make off of Negro on that hair care business every year?
They're
I know.
billions of dollars they're making. They're changing their entire trajectory of generations. They're making generational wealth. We don't see where they live because they don't live in our neighborhood. We don't see how they live in. They are set. They are set and they buying your land up and they got all the money to build more and more businesses and keep and they sharing and they rotate that money around and they building more wealth for themselves as a people off of your necks, literally off of your necks, because this hair is not a necessity. And this money that you daggone are throwing at them is not a necessity. And there are other ways to skin a cat. And if you want damn fake hair, then there's other places you could go and other avenues we could go through. And you could go to a damn one of these islands with these island people that need money and got all this fucking hair. If you're so desperate for fucking hair, You don't have to even go to the Asians. It's not even good hair anyway. Why don't you go to some of these daggone Pacific Islands or some of these remote places and daggone increase their economy? Help them people out. Start your own business. Go import that shit. Let them cut their hair off, bundle that shit, wash it out, send it over here. And we got our own indigenous people's hair. Change the game. Put them out of business. Don't buy nothing that ain't made by daggone Negro hands. Don't buy no hair products unless it's made by somebody that's like you.
Why is it taking us so long to get that message across, Lise?
If the message still ain't across, because we free. You understand this? Because that's what the 1965 17-year-olds, that's what they became. They became the generation of I do what I want to do. I'm free. So is my generation. I'm free to do what I want to do. I can wear my jackets backwards, pants backwards. I can wear, fluorescent colors. I can break dance in the middle of the daggone subway station. I'm free. A whole generation of spoiled brats.
You're absolutely right.
Don't care about nobody. Don't care about the impact of the day of what you're doing. Don't care how it's going to change the game for your daggone the next generation. They don't care. And now all of a sudden I got people calling me telling me to slow down, shut up, watch what you're saying.
Who did that?
The people that's closest to you, man. It's always the people. Now I won't. It's not my closest. Not my sisters. My sisters are wonderful. However, no, it's just like family. So I mean, to tell you to stop what you're doing, slow but down. People, there are people who are vested their careers and the things that I'm talking about and things that I am talking counter to. Watch yourself. You might want to back off. Really? That's what I'm being told by family.
Yeah.
Y'all, I just made a cartoon. That's all. Is that so radical? Do I not think that people listen to my conversations, watch my videos? I'm sure the grand white supremacy knows what I do and how I think. I'm not worried about dying or anything like that. You cannot do this and be a fearful person. Fear is not part of this equation. You must be fearless. That's right. We're so scared. AP trade. That's right. We're so damn scared. And that's the tool. That's the instrument of supremacy is fear. That is the number one tool they use is fear. They want to get you with the fear. They want you to feel, ooh, they're coming in the middle of the night. Shut up, shut up. They gonna be wearing their hoods. Then you're gonna lose your job. There's a lot of there's a lot of homeless people here in California. There's always a lot of homeless people in California. Why aren't people figuring out other ways? They're sitting up there trying to hold on to their shit and the way they continue to live, but they ain't downsizing. You ain't gotta live in that damn nice apartment or that nice house. You could get yourself a trailer. You could have been shifted yourself into an existence that you could afford to live into. See, people are not trying to survive. You can't get mad at people who ain't trying. You see what I'm saying? You
Right.
cannot feel sorry for them, I mean, for people who ain't trying to shift the way they live. They get caught up from the last minute trying to live the way they like it. I like this. I like these shoes. I
But
like
but
that
what
purse.
but what is there
They
to
could have
like?
sold their purses a year ago. But then they get tossed out of their apartment and their purses are trash and they don't have an internet on their phone anymore and they can't even sell their purses. But they could have changed the trajectory by changing their standards a long time ago. How about that? How about that? We need to change some of the things we value and we need to start making our survival plan now. so that you don't have to live in fear. Because if your happiness depends on living your life the way it is now, then yeah, they got your ass. Then they got your ass. Because my survival don't depend on me living my life the way I live it now. I can live in the daggone tent. I don't give a shit. I'll live in a tent, take a shit. I don't care. So fear is not a factor when when you're not dependent on all these things for your happiness and your existence. You have to change that. We have to change that. We have to change the way we seek our satisfaction and the way we teach our children about what they're able to do for themselves. We have to learn to do more for ourselves. Teach the kids how to raise chicks or how to raise turkeys or how to raise goats. Teach them how to raise daggone bees. Teach them things that they will always have nutrition. Davita, you can farm out of a bucket. Teach your grandkids and your kids that. Make yourself indestructible, because we are. First, it starts in the mind. It's all in the mind. If you fear, then they already got you defeated. It all starts here. If you're like, oh Lord, like I was told, this is what the message was. Back off. You're doing too much. You need to be careful. Hey, I was active. I was a Muslim back in the day. So I know you need to be careful. I said, let me tell you something. Be careful for what? Fear what? They're weak. Anybody who hides in the dark and does their plans in secret, I ain't fearing that. Why should I fear that? You got to plan and do everything you do in secret, and you got to use your daggone henchman to help get the job done. You weak as hell. I don't fear people like that. Come out with your damn truth. Be bold with what you're trying to do. No, they're not. They always got to change the history, change the facts, make themselves look like the good guy, and then have their designated bad guy. That's the game they play. It's a weak game. It's tired. It's old. And we see it. We see it. Now, what you going to do about it? So now you know the game. What you going to do about it to make yourself indestructible? First of all, you got to eliminate all fear. Being comfortable in the world and in the planet eliminates your fear. I don't like bugs. Bitch, you better get used to some damn bugs. I don't like dirt. You better get used to some dirt. Because literally, when he talked about people being thrown out in the street and being homeless in California, they got thrown out into their environment. What's so bad about that? It's bad if you're still trying to live in the city and you're sleeping on a sidewalk, but it ain't bad if you move back to the country and you're living under a tree. Hello? Hello? We want to hold on to that old life, so we're going to sit on the corner down the street 2 blocks from where our old apartment was. Really? That's what you call living. How is that good for your psyche to be in a shopping cart a few blocks away from where you used to stay? How is that good?
I know a lot of people living like that.
Change your expectations and your lifestyle. Stop trying to hold on to the fact you used to go to that Starbucks every morning for your breakfast. That high price, shitty ass breakfast that you used to spend money on. Stop holding on to those habits and those thought patterns. Like that's what you need to be a person. Like you're not able to do things any other way. And any other way, you feel less than. You feel less than. I can't even afford to go to Starbucks. Really, bitch? Really? That's how we see it? That's how we value each other. What kind of shoes you can get, what kind of car you can get, what kind of house you got. That's how we see our value system. We got to change that whole perspective, because contentment is what we're really about as an indigenous people. We are people that we're content with our life. We found joy in nature and living and being able to provide the basics in life. And we had inventions and we had nice things and we had European art and European clothes. We weren't living like in the damn woods. Let's not get it twisted. I mean, I know I love Rick Moon and I love him back to nature stuff, but we also have to understand we had civilized stuff always. We always were inventing and creating things. And we always had stuff that we would get from Europe, and they had a lot of inventions that they got from us. Word, check that. A lot of stuff that you think started in Europe did not. We gave that shit to them. Check it. Because the shit don't make sense, the stuff that they be doing and the inventions that they got, especially in the area of medicine, okay? Because they didn't wash a damn thing. And they learned to they're gonna sanitize, they learned it from us. Believe that shit. So a lot of the advances that they claim, they stole.
But what about Florence Nightingale? She was the
Florence
best.
Nightingale was not until the mid 1800s. That bitch is late. We were teaching them things for them shits for 200 years when they try to post her up as a daggone example of a nurse. That's some bullshit. They do that because it's all white supremacy. It's about creating a position of power and respect. It's a whole propaganda game. And in reality, even with daggone Florence Nightingale, she was in the Crimean War with a daggone Jamaican woman. She was doing all the cool shit. So no, that's false. And see, we believe everything we're told and we hold on to it. To the point my cousin was talking about Florence Nightingale and this little nurse that looked just like her who was taking care of her in the hospital. Now I'm glad she had a nice little nurseship. I'm glad my cousin's well. There's another cousin. But at the same time, please, Florence Nightingale, that's some late fake shit.
You know, one of the questions I ask a lot of people, because you know the history that we're given about America and just the history we're giving.
Oh, I
One
like
of
that. Hold on. Let me say Brian Lanier.
yes,
He said, fear is the jab. Envy is a knockout punch. Woo! That's fire. That's true. Envy. Envy. Let's talk about envy. Let's just say what you say, but let's talk. I love that because that envy amongst Indians. Woo! And that's what that whole white supremacy, that's the other thing that they use. They use that tool of envy because that's how they pit us against each other by creating a black elite and just the micro assaults and like, oh, this one's better because this one has that and that one does that and that's a good Negro and that's a bad Negro and that's a good Indian and that's a bad Indian. That's what they do. They put that shit out there. But then what do? We mimic it amongst each other. And we never used to be that way. But we learned it and we learned it real good. And we can't seem to shake it, but we better shake it to survive. We better shake that envy. That envy is a disease, that ego disease that is treacherous. Your head gets gigantic and it nearly explodes. And you don't even see it coming. And everybody in the midst of your damn big head is gonna get the daggone is gonna get the daggone damage from that daggone explosion. They're gonna get it. They're gonna wreak the damage. It's horrible. So no, envy is, you're right. Who's that? What's that? Oh, is there any groups that we can group up on? Does she mean like what she mean, like Clubhouse, or uh is that what you're talking about? I mean, because I had started a Clubhouse, but I really haven't done anything on it. I had started an indigenous Clubhouse, and there is like, and we do need to do it because there's an ADOS Clubhouse, and they talk a lot of craziness, but we really do need to start an indigenous Clubhouse. If you'd like to be somebody who spearheads it, because you're probably of that generation more so than me. I peek in the clubhouse and stuff, but that would be a good thing is that we could group up and meet up via clubhouse, or maybe some more offline, better medias that are less, stalked by the government would be great. So we need to probably work on that. Not probably, we definitely need to work on that. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Carrie. That's also a good comment. The chat is amazing. Let me see what they're doing.
Oh yeah, you know. So
Chat is hot. Chat is fire.
all the chat, all the intelligent people don't go to other people's chat. They come here
That's right. That's
to,
right.
to,
They're
to
fire.
shout their
Put up
ideas.
put up some fire in the chat, y'all. Put up some fire in the chat. Make sure you get them likes. Make sure you're sharing.
Um, just watching us and our reaction to everything that goes on. And it's like the sister said, are there any groups we can group up on?
Mm-hmm.
We are a group of people.
Right.
And we are the group of people that everybody, every time you hear people speak, they're speaking about you. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
isn't it time that we come up with some new kind of ways of doing things as a group of people?
Right. Right.
What's your thoughts on that, Lise?
New type of ways.
Let me. This is the question I want to ask you
Yeah.
though. So we've all heard of the Wright brothers.
Yeah.
Do you really think poor people, convicts, came over here from Europe and came up with that invention, or was that something that was already here?
Child, daggone half of everything that is of any value in this damn country or planet was done by us. You think Tesla wasn't a daggone Negro or whatever? Tesla, like I don't believe that story at all. Tesla died in poverty. He sure wasn't no white man. Come on now. Come on now. Tesla. Come on, we don't believe that. We also know that Edison was just vicious. He actually got sued by another Negro for his damn invention. So he's always stealing shit from Negroes. You think Tesla was any different? Tesla was, come on. We did it. We do everything. They don't do hardly anything. And then we sit up there and we got these daggone black supremacists who say, oh, well, everything comes from Africa. Huh? Huh?
Right.
Where? Where are they doing shit? Where's all the contributions? Why? Why would you think that you have this whole stupid theory that because Muslim religion had a temple that was grand somewhere in the distant past, so they say Timbuktu, that all this daggone wisdom came out of that, when really it's a religious temple. Okay, it's a religious temple. Okay, fine, they had a religious temple. So did we. So did a lot of people. So what? Where's the evidence of all the transcending information and invention and creativity? Where's all that? And how could something like that just come to a halt? If you're that kind of people, you're going to keep being them kind of people. People have patterns. If all the creativity and invention and scientific advances are coming from one people in particular, that's a pattern. Understand that. And that you want to jump across the water and conject that all these things came from some people that don't even have that pattern of behavior, don't have that legacy. Why do you do that?
Right.
Because somebody told you. Why? Because they made an agreement to submit. And now, because they made an agreement to submit and you believe them, now you're submitting and you don't even know it. You're submitting and you don't even know it.
Do you think these groups, these Greek fraternities and these Moors and all these cats, do you think they know everything that you're talking about, and they're just the groups that submitted to everything?
I don't think that I think the majority of the people, the masses, don't know that that they have been duped and lied to and submitted. I think that there are, higher ups that know, hey, look, this is what we doing. We doing this. We're doing this, and we're suppressed, because you have to know, if you actually are actually working to suppress something, then you kind of have to know what you're suppressing, right? I mean, I don't think that they could actually be that effective without having a knowledge of who the indigenous people are and the real history is. And you know what I mean. You'll do a better job if you have a real map of what's going on. You know what I mean? Because if not, you run the risk of the black supremacists slipping into like, "Ooh, this is the truth." Oh, and they get confused. You know what I mean? Then you lost all your black supremacists. So the black supremacist leaders have to be knowledgeable of the truth about history. So I mean, they are the keepers of it. Because they get money, they get wealth, they get prominence, they get power from it.
Well, okay, so but what I'm seeing now, so what do you think of the world now? Do you think a lot of the indigenous people are waking up? Because I'm starting to see a lot of younger people,
Mm-hmm.
younger
Yes.
males and females. They up on it.
Yeah, they are.
They are way ahead of where I was when I was 25. You
Right.
know?
And even more interesting is that the European young people are actually waking up too. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes,
They are like, nah, the Indians are, what the African Americans, the Indians, they are up on that. A lot of young people are actually waking up, of all races, which is really helpful.
yes.
Moving forward, now it's on you. It's on you. It's on you to push, to make that open door be something, because you can make it be nothing by just sitting around and talking. But if you want to actually make it be something that can change your lives and the lives of people that come after you, you have to do something. You have to do things. You have to organize people. You have to talk to jerks, and you have to talk to people that you do not like. You have to talk to people that you do like. And you got to convince people or not convince people, but you got to get the word and the message out about who you are. And you have to do the research, and you have to pour yourself into your genealogy so you can actually make claims.
So, Lisa, could you tell us, for people who are not familiar with genealogy, could you talk to us about that and tell us how people can get into that and what piqued their interest in genealogy?
Okay, so let me do this. Let's do this real quick, since we're not making this short. This is tending to be long. Okay. So, this is one of my folks. This is Isaac Bailey, right? Isaac Bailey is listed in a book called Pocahontas's People, I believe, by Helen Roundtree, who researches Indians in Virginia, right? And on a book that she did, where she talked about Pocahontas's people, she talked about my folks, the Accomacs. But the people in Northampton, my cousins and folk, would not speak to her. They would not meet with her. They would not talk to her. Right. So she had to do most of all her research from records, from court records, and census records and such. But from that book, she compiled information about the reservation and stuff. And one of the people on the reservation, and having listed as having reservation land, is my ancestor Isaac Bailey. I have like, I don't even know. I haven't gone through everybody's name on the allotments of land, but I know I have three for sure. Okay. And as you do your genealogy, you're able to um you're able to go back and link yourself and your cousins and everybody to this Isaac Bailey, right? To this person who is actually in the history books and in the records of being on this reservation, which is that's what it's all about. Like, making it come to life and making it do things for your people. So, my tree is actually this tree is mostly just me, my folk, right? um Oh, see, they found a potential father for Edmund. I don't think that's true. They don't know what they're talking about. But see, sometimes their information is false, and you know your people, you know your family names, and they'll connect you with folks that aren't really have nothing to do with your where you're at or your people or whatever. But see, this is Edmund Bailey, right? Edmund Bagwell, rather. Edmund Bagwell is listed as being Indian in court records. Okay, Edmund Bagwell was somebody who traded. He traded furs and things like that. And I have 14 hints for him. So there's a lot of records for him, and there's a lot of people that have him on their trees. Now let's look at the hints for Edmund. And ancestry will give you hints. So here's members trees. Now there's not a lot of trees. That means 3 other people feel like they're connected to Edmund. Let's just look at that, what other people have done in looking at him. This is a Brown family. I don't believe they have it right because first of all, they have Edmund's father as they have Edmund Robinson Bagwell. This is not who I'm looking at. I'm not looking at Edmund Robinson Bagwell. Edmund Robinson Bagwell was born at a different time, and he might even be a white person who just wanted to be a Bagwell, because really, who has 2 last names? You know what I'm saying? So this looks like somebody who's an impersonator who wanted to be connected or be my ancestor, and then took on the last name of my ancestor. You see?
Lisa, let me just say something real quick to the chat room. Listen to what she's saying, y'all, because she's giving some jewels that you can just pick up on. How you can get into your people, or how you can see people are trying to get into you, which is all the time, because we always trying to run off to some other country or some other ideology. But she's giving you the jewels.
Right.
Jewels.
So Edmund Bagwell, I define my ancestor and who he is. So when I put him in my tree, I make sure I say that he's Indian, that he's on Roundtree's book, and he's Accawmacke. I put all that together. I put that out there, and then a lot of times when I am able to, I go to the records, I go to Ancestry, and I change their definition in Ancestry, because they'll say things like black or colored or Negro or whatever, and I'll change it, and I'll say Indian, I'll say American Indian, I'll say Accawmacke Indian. I correct it, because you can correct the records. This Edmund Robinson is a white person. This is a different person. He's not the same, but they're saying he's an Accawmacke. But that's how people stole your land, you see. They come in, and his name is Edmund Robinson, but then he added on Bagwell. Was he really a Bagwell? Probably not. This is the real Edmund Bagwell Indian. That's the fake. He's like 100 years afterwards, almost 100, like 70 years afterwards. Not the same person. But these people have looked like they have falsely tried to identify as being my ancestor Bagwell. You see? All these 3 families, none of them are Negro. But they're claiming to be Edmund Bagwell. And they got 2 last names. That's not real. That's not real.
So, do you see what she's saying to you guys? See, when we always trying to be Greek and Moor and all these other people, those people come over and take your place because you running off to be with them. And they just come over and take your grandmama's and granddaddy's identity.
Mm-hmm. That's what
You
they
are,
did.
and
That's what
you
they
are
did. Right.
good.
So now you have to exert that, because first of all, if you're not Negro, how the world are you Edmund Bagwell's descendant? How is he the Edmund Bagwell? He was an Indian. Clearly, the Indians that were on the Eastern Shore were Negroid in appearance. You saw what Daggone Strachey wrote about the Virginia Indians. Okay, so how in the world is this white person gonna claim that he is the Edmund Bagwell and change it from the 1700s to the 1800s? How is he? Because he added on the Bagwell name, and then he turned around and said that, oh, I'm a Bagwell because of Thomas Paulson. So I'm getting hints on Ancestry saying Thomas Paulson is the father of this one. Well, no, my Edmund Bagwell was born before that. So I don't know who these false Bagwells are, but they're fake. You see what I'm saying? And that's the kind of stuff that happens. But we're going to clear all this up because that's how you do it. And then with making the cartoon, having the cartoon Craig Clark has done for me, for the Accawmacks, is also a way of clarifying some of these lies, by putting out there the visual image of the Accawmacks and the story and telling it in its truth. That's the way you do it, because when you are the storyteller, you are the history maker. You change the history by taking back that control.
Lisa,
It's very important.
can I beg you of something?
What's that?
Please show us a cartoon. Please.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
begging. When you guys see this shit, you're gonna be like, damn.
Yeah, I'm trying. Let me get that.
Such
Oh, that's Lisa Cypress's.
you told Tweet,
What is my cartoon called? I don't even know why I have it.
check this out, guys. This is what I'm saying. This is the kind of shit we gotta be doing. Everywhere,
We have to
everybody.
correct it. Yeah, we have to correct our history.
It just ain't her and me doing it, it's you too. You gotta be a part of this. So you see when these white folks go off killing people, they're speaking for their people.
This entrepreneur brand logo was done by a top freelancer on Fiverr. Is simply wow.
Cartoon. I don't have it up to show. Must be here.
When you guys see this cartoon of your people, it's gonna change the way that you think about stuff.
There it is. Okay.
Check this out.
The plan. The Laughing King had a plan. Indeed, the Laughing King had a plan with various phases. Accomack Nation, being on the eastern shore peninsula of Virginia, was very vulnerable. The Laughing King knew that English ships could easily invade the Accawmacks. Therefore, it was essential that we, the Accawmacks, defended ourselves by developing a plan for success. We, indigenous Indians, respect each other's gifts and strengths. The Laughing King, being a great strategist, knew his brother Kipotipik was a better warrior. So the king retired to hunt and turned over his crown and leadership to his brother. Notice that the Laughing King did not let his pride keep him from stepping aside for the benefit of his family and his people. True indigenous Indians, like the Accomack Indians, know the danger of having too much pride and strive to work together for the greatest good. Unfortunately, we, the Accomack, could not anticipate the fast and furious invasion and oppression that was to come. Being soulful people who live in harmony and peace with nature, we did not understand beings who are driven by greed and who have predatory natures. Contrary to European reports of indigenous American history, the intent behind the arrival of the English was not as merely a peaceful settlement, In fact, primary accounts in books dating back to the 1500s report that there were research and discovery missions that preceded the settlements in Virginia. Such accounts were written by, for example, a scientist named Thomas Harrod and by Captain John Smith. Smith even reported taking indigenous Virginia Indian boys with him to England for training as interpreters and possibly as spies. The mission of the English colony's A.K. London Company was that of commercial conquest. It was a hostile takeover of a very old world, a world full of valuable resources, including and especially its resource of indigenous copper-colored people. America, or Turtle Island, may have been new to England, but it was and is a very ancient world. The Europeans came in multiple shiploads and sent the mildest mannered religious representatives to lead the way. North American Indians have a strong faith in God. Worship, faith, and spirituality guided our lives, as they do still. The English came ready to discredit our religion and replace it with Christianity as a tool to control us. Eyre Hall Eastfield Plantation's owner's ancestor, Quaker Nathaniel Eyre, was an early settler who used religious manipulation of very spiritual Accawmacke Indians to acquire 6,000 acres of Accawmacke clan land upon his arrival. They put up fences in a foreign land. First and foremost, Jamestown and all settlements were forts, military installations. It is inconceivable to think the Europeans had the audacity to invade in a foreign land, put up fences, impose foreign laws, take military action, and claim immediate ownership of another people's homeland. In fact, court records in the Accawmacke homeland begin as early as 1628. The early court records show even the Laughington was charged with trespassing while hunting. For as you see, we were no longer free to roam at home. The homeland was filled by other invasions of European debtors and criminals who were forced to travel to America as white slaves and indentured servants of aristocrats. The problem with European slaves is they could and did easily run off and claim to be free immigrants. Consequently, being good-natured and expert tradespeople and agriculturalists, the Accawmackes became the best viable source of labor. The question then became how best to make a free Indian into a forever slave. To be continued. Okay. Oh,
Where's Carrie? All right. Well, that's it. I don't know if the show's still going on. I guess it is. Right.
I'm
But
here. Sorry.
oh, good.
Sorry,
That's
I
good.
was
No,
trying.
we definitely
No,
need to take over. You're right. We need to take over, and that's what this is about. And it's not just kids though, because, like I said, this video actually will, it's informative for adults that's been miseducation. It's a re-education for misinformed adults, and I find that the animation makes it palatable to people because just seeing our images and our skin color and our hair and and it just makes it like acceptable to people that I had a hard time reaching before. So it's good. It's great for kids, and definitely we need to put it in the school systems, that we need to change the whole narrative of what they're being mistaught in school. This is a step in that direction, but we also have to make a great effort to reteach our own selves because we don't know.
that was a Bombay cartoon. But I wanted to share this image right here with the cartoon because they work hand in hand. What you see right here is the image of Columbia they always talk about. It's in Columbia pictures, Columbia universities, the city of Columbia is because they always put their mark on what they do. And
Right.
what you see this chick Columbia, what
Mm-hmm.
she's doing, all you have to do is go to Wikipedia and pull up Columbia,
Mm-hmm.
and you will and go and scroll down, and you will find this image, and you'll see the image of the Indians right here. They're being moved off their land. She's
Mm-hmm.
coming as that godlike figure, and she
Remember?
has a Bible in her hand, and
Mm-hmm.
she always have that Tesla wire in her hand, like
Right.
you always talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So this information is out there, folks. This cartoon she's giving you is your stuff.
Yeah.
All this is yours, but you keep giving it away and trying to be somebody else. You can't run away from yourself. Bob Marley taught you that shit.
That's right. That's right. I mean, we
And
can't, and we also understand that these images, these are all they make their images. That's what they did. So we have to reverse that. They made the images to impress upon us their false narrative, to make their lies truth. They made their lies truths with images and propaganda and words on pages. If anything's a spell casting, it's the words and the images. That's weak stuff. But we can easily reverse that. We have to make a concerted effort to create it. You create your own reality. You have to create it in your mind, and then you create it in reality.
so you see what Japster said. He said, "Love the cartoon." The
Thank you.
cartoons are off the hook because even grown-ups, even ones who have just slaved for boss their whole life, they even get it.
Yeah, right. And that's the whole thing. It's like it opens up the minds of adults to thinking and on something that they may have been blocking. And a lot of us are blocking it, you know.
Right.
We want to stay with what we're comfortable with. But then when you see the story and see, this is the thing about truth. Truth resonates in your soul. It resonates in your spirit. It resonates in you. You feel the vibration of truth. See, when you're told something like, "Oh yeah, they came from the Nile," and you don't feel, and it's like flat. It's just a fact, right? It doesn't really resonate with you because you don't feel like, I'm drawn to go there. I'm drawn to be there. I'm going to live there. You know what I mean? I want to eat the food they ate and walk the places they walk. You know what I'm saying? When things resonate with you, when you see this cartoon and the way the whole flow of information makes sense, how things happen resonates in your soul, it will change people. It changes everything. It changes the energy around what is true and what is not. And that's what we have to do. We have to change all this energy that exists around the false narratives and the lies. No more support do they get. And then you generate all this energy around the truth. And you don't even have to give it. You don't have to create energy because it's the truth. It'll vibrate inside of people. It's going to feel right. That's the great thing. You just got to get this true story out. And the truth itself has got the power to change things.
Well, Lisa, you have you have shaken the chat room up. So if the chat room want to
Good.
get with you and learn more, what do they have to do?
Well, the chat room needs that you can contact me. I can be reached via my acamac.org website. It sends the direct email to me, or you can also reach me by uh, just on Facebook. You know, I'm Lyran Cypress on Facebook, or I'm Lisa Cypress. I'm not on Lisa Cypress very much. That's a whole nother identity that Facebook kind of messed up for me because that was my indigenous identity, but then they anyway, Facebook does their stuff. So I kind of had let that go, but I'm rarely Lisa Cypress. I'm mostly Lyran Cypress on Facebook. And then you also can email me at indigenous at gmail.com. You can reach me by through in that way. And understand that I do have a YouTube channel, Indigenous Accawmacke, which I do have my videos all will be posted on. And I'll be doing more videos as well because as we get more into this year, we will be having our summit in Virginia, the Indigenous Indian Council Summit in Eastville, Virginia, on October 9th through 12th. And it's going to be so fun, and it's going to be so fact filled and so like hands-on craziness and just everything. You'll just get to feel it, see it, hear it, share it. It's going to be an experience and really learn a whole lot. And it's great for the kids. The kids love it. I know people tend to not bring their family or their kids or their old people, but every person that has brought an older person or a real or young kid, they have had a great time. Like, I mean, I can tell you with the certainty that one particular woman, her daughter was like in tears. She couldn't believe it. Like she was just like so moved by what was going on and by what she was learning and what she was seeing. I mean, that's the kind of experience we try to bring to you. It's gonna be something that you're gonna be motivated with. We had people come down last minute last year from New York, and they were like, "Wow, I didn't know you guys had all this going on. This is like I'm getting stuff. I'm learning stuff. I'm like, wow, this is like, so people get moved. It's a moving situation. It is not a joke because we're about what's real and we're about love and unity and building. And that's exactly what they don't want us to have. Love, peace, unity, and building together. That's what we do.
Lise, can you people are hitting you up for the link to the cartoon. How do they get to
Oh,
that?
yeah, you can reach the cartoon at Indigenous Accawmacke. Oh, is that my YouTube? Let me see. I don't even know. Let me look. I don't know. I'm just y'all. If y'all knew what the struggle was with me for real, you if you really knew.
So
Woo,
listen, so that's not only
I
the struggle
struggle
with
with all
her.
this. Huh?
So you see how she's struggling.
I
All the
struggle. It's
people,
not easy for
yeah,
me to get stuff like this done and all this.
and it's
But
and it's not easy for her because she needs more people like you to find out to do what she's doing with her people to do with your people. Do you know how
right.
fast we would link up?
Right. We just Indigenous Accawmacke is my YouTube channel, Indigenous Accawmacke, and then my email is indigenousaccawmacke@gmail.com. So Accawmacke, just ACCAWMACKE, like it's on my title here under my name. And so yeah, you can find it there. I have that one there. Let me tell you, the next episode. Woo! And then when I do Anthony Johnson, forget about it. I'm gonna do daggone Harriet Tubman. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna change the game. And you don't even want to think about daggone when I do Nat Turner. Nat Turner, I'm gonna be a beast on that. So I'm doing a series. I'm starting out with the Accawmacke. Now I'm gonna move all the way around, and we're gonna finish Virginia and then start moving all around the country. And I'm gonna be respectful and try to meet with people that are those people and get their stories and get their information, because you always gotta respect your territories and stuff. So we want to do this. Get everybody's story out. Nobody is really telling our true stories. We got to start telling our true stories. Let's get it. And I know it's a
Let's
sacrifice. It costs money. It takes so much time. It's very stressful. Like it's like a lot, because I was in a panic. I was like editing it and writing it, and I couldn't get it together. I didn't know how to get all of it into another episode, like this final episode and this episode and these two episodes. I started out real easy, like they're little mild, little shorts. But I know I needed to tell the true story of the Accawmacke in detail, because that's the only way you're going to respect who we are and understand that the details of who we are. You know what I mean? So I had to get it out there. How our identity was changed, what happened, what we went through, how we were forced to migrate, things like that need to be known. That needs to be out there. How they changed our homeland to a desert land. Let me tell you, the supremacy of the Eastern Shore, where we are from, is the supremacy is what this global supremacy is doing to the planet. What they are attempting to do is to run off all the indigenous people. They want it to be empty. Nobody but their own people, their own families. They don't care if they actually starve out other European people. They don't care what the fallout is. They have a goal in mind. And that's what happened on the Eastern Shore. They didn't care that they destroyed any jobs or opportunities on the Eastern Shore for their own offspring. Those Europeans did not care. They wanted us out of there so bad that they destroyed any possibility of any companies coming there, any businesses they had. They shut them down. It is a wasteland. It is almost like when you drive into that area, you think you've driven into the past, because that's how far back they drove it. There are no jobs, there are no opportunities. There's real it is They created that purposely to make sure we had no hold on that land. And it still didn't work. Because look at us. Not only there's so many cousins that are still there. Not many, but there's still cousins there. But there's so many of us that have a connection to the history they're poised to move back. My sister just moved back to Virginia. I have moved back to Virginia. I got dozens of cousins ready to move back. So, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, they will destroy their own offspring to annihilate you. Okay? To
do
keep
you
you
understand
from
that?
having anything, they will kill their own. You have to understand that. And when you come to the summit, you're gonna see it, because you'll see it. You'll feel it. You'll even more so, because my ancestors are so lit. They're so strong now, They're so lit, they're so on fire from the energy that we're giving them, and the fact that their truth is being told. Do you understand that? I had an old guy contact me he's like in his 80s, and he's from the Eastern Shore, and he was like, my great grandfather told me stories of the Quakers and how they took him they said they adopted him, but they stole him, and they took him to somewhere in Iowa or something, and they wanted to get his land, his family land. And all these terrible things that ended up. And I was like, you know what? And he says, I'm so glad somebody's working on our heritage, because I'm too old. He says, I go to the library every day and I try to research, but that's all I can do is just do my little research. And I know I wanted to try to do something to vindicate my great grandfather, because he kind of urged me to do it. And so you see, I mean, these stories are real. The fact that people came here and adopted young kids and the Quakers came here trying, see, this whole thing of the mighty good and the mighty evil, see, they have these people come as saviors and they coming like, oh, we're going to give you something for the Negro. We coming to help the Indian. We coming to help no, they're the evil, just as evil as the daggone blatant evil that they try to put in your face. The savior is the evil that you really need to look out for. Be careful for those offering you a hand. But also be mindful of this. There's some really good European people that are part of your DNA as well. Okay? They family too. And there are really good people in the world who mean to help and understand the wrong that has been done and are actually poised to be of assistance. So don't be like thinking that it's a black white thing, because it's really like a people thing.
And you have a bunch of Negroes that are trying to destroy you too. And I would get
I
off of
told you
that.
about the black overseers. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
really
right.
get off of that because you have a
Get off of that.
whole bunch of Negroes that
Right.
means
Right.
nothing but your destruction.
Right, exactly, exactly. To be an Accomack Indian does not mean you're a Negro. You could be. Look. You can look at a lot of people that are Accomacs are Caucasian, either by marriage or by the fact that they are actually of the bloodline. But like any people, you could turn into a Negro in a heartbeat. Your bloodline, your genealogy could turn into a Negro in a heartbeat, or you could turn into a white person as well, genealogy wise. Okay, your appearance can change. So I
That's
mean,
right.
understand that if somebody comes to me with the right genealogy, where they have lined themselves up from coming all the way from Eastern Shore to wherever they are in the world, that's what it is. They are Accomack. It don't matter what they look like. Feel
Accomac
that?
baby, and to all the brothers out there, the Accomac women are pretty fine. So Lisa, I want to
Right.
thank you for joining us tonight
Okay.
and giving us this. You always come with the Bombay stuff. One more time, how do we get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me at acamac.org. You can email me via our website that you put up in the video. You can also reach me on my via my YouTube channel, Indigenous Accomack, and I have a few videos. I'll be doing more. Like, I'm gonna get better at putting out videos. I will. And also indigenousaccamack@gmail.com is my email.
IndigenousAccamac@gmail.com. So Lisa, thank you for joining us and don't go nowhere.
And I'll be
Please.
putting out ads for the summit really soon,
Okay, so the summit.
like it's
I'm a help
time.
pump that, so
So
don't worry about that at all.
probably
So
within the
look,
next month, April.
okay, so
Yes.
don't go, Lisa. Don't go nowhere. Listen. So I
All
want to
right.
let everybody know. Thank you for joining us tonight. What this sister's doing on this little part of Virginia, you can do where your people are from. You got people from Iowa, South Dakota, Wyoming, all over this place that's letting us know who we are. You got to stand up and speak out. Like Macy Gray said, get up, get out, and do something. We'll see you next time. Peace.